Hey everyone, before I really get started, I just wanted to mention that this episode gets into a little about the magic of Christmas. So if you listen where small children who understand English can hear, this is not the episode for them. Enjoy! Welcome back to the Sharing English podcast, where we explore stories from the English-speaking world, spoken slowly and clearly for curious English learners like you. Let's get started. Hi everyone, I'm your host Freya. Today we're diving into one of the most familiar figures in the English-speaking world and in many parts of the globe, Santa Claus. But who is Santa Claus really? Where did this smiling, red-suited gift giver come from? And why do so many cultures share similar traditions? In this episode, we'll explore the real story behind Santa, from an ancient Christian saint to a Dutch immigrant tradition to the modern pop culture icon we know today. So let's get started. Long before Santa Claus lived at the North Pole, long before flying reindeer, and long before Christmas stockings, there was Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas was a real person, a Christian bishop who lived around the 3rd and 4th centuries in a region that is now modern-day Turkey. He became famous for his generosity, especially toward children, the poor, and the vulnerable. One of the most famous legends describes Saint Nicholas secretly giving bags of gold to a poor family by dropping them through a window or even down the chimney. These stories helped build Nicholas's reputation as a kind, magical giver of gifts. Over time, his popularity spread across Europe. He became the patron saint of children, sailors, merchants, and more. In many European countries, December 6, St. Nicholas Day, is still celebrated with small gifts or sweets in children's shoes. This is the earliest version of the Santa we know today, a generous, mysterious gift giver who arrives secretly at night. The next major transformation in the story came from the Netherlands. The Dutch version of Saint Nicholas is called Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas looks like a bishop. He wears a long red robe, rides a white horse, and arrives by boat from Spain in November. He brings gifts, leads parades, and visits homes. When Dutch immigrants came to North America in the 1600s and 1700s, they brought their traditions with them. The name Sinterklaas slowly changed into Santa Claus. By the early 1800s in the United States, Santa Claus had already begun to take on a new shape, thanks to American writers describing him as friendly, jolly, magical, and connected to Christmas Eve rather than December 6. This is where the transformation truly begins. In 19th century America, 2 important works shaped the Santa we know today. The first came out in 1823 and is called A Visit from St. Nicholas. You might know this poem by its first line, "'Twas the night before Christmas." This poem introduced many of the details we still associate with Santa. his arrival on Christmas Eve, his 8 reindeer, his ability to go up and down chimneys, his laugh, ho ho ho. The poem completely changed the image of Santa in American culture. So much so that I'm going to devote an entire episode to it in a couple of weeks. Secondly, in the latter half of the 19th century, a famous political cartoonist, Thomas Nast, created the first images of Santa Claus that look similar to the modern version. Round, cheerful, and wearing a red suit with fur trim. He also imagined Santa living at the North Pole, a workshop full of elves, and a naughty and nice list. These elements spread across newspapers and magazines, helping solidify Santa as a major part of American Christmas celebrations. Many people think and say that Coca-Cola invented Santa Claus. That's not exactly true, but Coca-Cola did help standardize Santa's look and make it even more iconic. Starting in the 1930s, Coca-Cola ran Christmas advertisements featuring Santa in a bright red suit with rosy cheeks, a round belly, and a friendly smile. These images were created by artist Haddon Sundblom. His version of Santa became so popular that it influenced movies, songs, books, decorations, and even toy designs. Soon, everyone around the world imagined Santa Claus in this very specific, very colorful way. So Coca-Cola didn't create Santa, but they definitely helped create the Santa we picture today. There are a lot of common questions about Santa Claus. Let's clear up a few. Was Santa always associated with Christmas? Not originally. St. Nicholas Day was December 6, and gift-giving traditions connected to Christmas came much later. Did Santa always wear red? No, early depictions showed him in green, brown, or blue. Red became most popular after the 19th century, and Coca-Cola helped make it standard. Is Santa Claus the same everywhere? The idea is similar, but traditions differ culturally. That leads us to our next section, Santa around the world. While Santa Claus is perhaps the most famous English-speaking version, many cultures have their own winter gift givers. The British version is Father Christmas. Originally not tied to gifts at all, he symbolized holiday joy and feasting. Today, he's pretty close to Santa. In France, Père Noël delivers presents, often accompanied by a figure called Père Fouettard, who traditionally judged whether children behaved well. In Germany and Austria, children may receive gifts from Christkind, a symbolic angelic figure, or from St. Nicholas on December 6. In Italy, La Befana, a kind old woman, brings gifts on January 6, the day of the Epiphany. And in Iceland, there are 13 different gift givers called the Yule Lads, each with a unique personality and story. These figures show that winter gift giving is a global tradition shaped by culture, religion, weather, and history. In my family, we combine Danish and American traditions. In Denmark, Julemanden, literally the Christmas man, brings gifts on Christmas Eve, December 24, and has help from Nisse, similar to elves, who bring gifts for children either every day of Advent or Advent Sundays. That's the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. Families are supposed to leave bowls of rice pudding to make the Nisse happy, and they often get up to mischief in the night. In my family, we celebrate the Christmas season with Nisse gifts throughout Advent, and we exchange family gifts on Christmas Eve after our big Christmas dinner. And then to maintain some of my American traditions, Santa Claus brings his gifts on Christmas morning along with gifts from our American family that he picked up the night before. Additionally, since my family has connections to Hungary and France, where Saint Nicola or Mikuláš are both celebrated on December 6th, we do that as well. It's safe to say December is a fun, truly international month in our family. Around the world, Santa Claus is now a marketing symbol, a holiday character, a global pop culture icon, a symbol of generosity and kindness, and an important part of family traditions. Children write letters to Santa. Communities run charity projects in Santa's name. Shopping malls hire mall Santas so kids can meet him. And in many countries, whether Christmas is religious, secular, or somewhere in between, Santa remains a major part of the season. Santa Claus's impact is very real. So that's the real and very international story of Santa Claus. From a generous bishop in ancient Turkey to Sinterklaas in the Netherlands, to a magical Christmas Eve visitor, to a global icon created through poems, art, and advertising, Santa Claus has traveled a long way, and he's still evolving. What about you? Is some form of Santa Claus celebrated in your culture? What is his story and traditions? I'll be back next Thursday with another holiday episode. Until then, I hope your week is full of warmth, joy, and a little holiday magic. Thanks for listening to the Sharing English podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, leave a rating or review, and share the podcast with a friend who's also learning English. You can find out more about me and the podcast at our website, www.sharing-english.com. New episodes of the Sharing English podcast are available weekly wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, let me know, what topics are you interested in hearing more about? Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep sharing English.